As we discussed, Kristi Noem is out. O-U-T out at DHS after a truly disastrous and humiliating tenure. But here's the thing. It was rough news for her that she got fired by Trump and moved to and I do still have confetti in my hair if you're watching this. We were celebrating something. Don't worry about it if you're watching the segment form. It was humiliating enough that she was ousted and moved to sort of a fake position, from what I can tell. But then afterwards, seeing that literally no one was sad for her, like not even MAGA, must be pretty depressing. So I'll show you some examples of people mocking her, but first here is Fox News just sort of like, all right, she's out. It's not, what, but she was doing such a great job. They're all like, yeah, she kind of should have been fired a while ago.
Ari, you've seen a lot of firings in your time in D.C. Did this surprise you? I mean, there's a lot of nasty stuff, Ice Barbie and all that. But what was the thing that really pushed this over the edge in your mind?
Well, I think it was two things, Laura. Number one, immigration was the president's biggest winning issue going into the campaign, and he didn't want to see it turning into a losing issue. And the street confrontations, all the violence on the streets, I think it just set a patina that made the president start to see he's losing support on an issue where he needs a Department of Homeland Security that helps him to gain back that support. But the second, I have a source who has told me that when the White House heard about the shooting of Alex Preedy, they were informed by Department of Homeland Security officials that it was an attempted assassination. It was a would-be murder. And the White House used language that reflected what they were told by Homeland Security. And then they saw the video and they felt they got bad information from Homeland Security, and they echoed that bad information. So in a backgrounder today, one of the White House officials said one of the reasons they let her go was because of what happened in Minnesota, and that put a fine point on what happened. They didn't trust the information they were getting from Homeland Security.
Well, then why didn't they fire her right away? Because that would have just given a scalp to those who are actually trying to hinder and impede.
So a MAGA Fox News host is not going, what? Oh my gosh, the radical left has forced a terrible... Instead, it's, why wasn't she fired earlier? Like, we were all kind of sick of her, which I think is just one final blow for Kristi Noem on her way out. Just the quickest pause for the video amid all of this chaos. If you do appreciate these updates, please click the subscribe button, click the like button. Both of those are completely free, but subscribe is the most important to support what we do. Back to the video.
Need ICE on the streets, or why drag this out?
Well, because I think the president is reluctant to let people go, and especially on his singular issue. So I think the advertising piece that we heard yesterday is also what tipped the president over. She was on thin ice after Minnesota. But Laura,
okay, so we see that. And then other people were having much more fun. Jared Moskowitz. I can't play the audio because last time it copyrighted us, but it was one of these in memoriams, and the song was, "In the arms of an angel, fly away." Oh, now it's just like a... There we go. One more time. And Corey Lewandowski makes an appearance. Very, very sad for Kristi. Ron Filipkowski said Cricket's revenge. Cricket is getting her. I don't know the gender of Cricket, actually. The dog that Kristi Noem killed is getting the revenge from doggy heaven. Very good. Then after you get fired by Trump, you have to do this really embarrassing thing where you pretend like you're really happy and grateful. So the headline is, Kristi Noem thanks Trump in first statement after being fired. You're like, this is great. I prefer it this way. Thank you, POTUS, Trump, for appointing me as the special envoy for the Shield of the Americas. Secretary Rubio and Pete Hegseth are incredible leaders, and I look forward to working with them closely to dismantle cartels and have poor drugs in our country, etc., etc. So she has to thank Trump, number one. Number two, she's not even like the director of the Shield of Americas, whatever that is, which is a new thing. But instead, which is like monitoring the Western Hemisphere. She's looking out for the Western Hemisphere. Instead, it's the special envoy for the Shield of America. It's like you're just an assistant to the regional director of Western Hemisphere. Okay, so that's her situation there. You have a Democratic rep saying, don't worry, Kristi Noem has so many other careers she can fall back on now that she's open to work, and attached to the many different outfits she's dressed up in for different ads. She's dressed up as a construction worker, as a police officer, as a nurse or a doctor, as, I don't know, electrician, a dentist, a firefighter. She loves her playing dress up. So, who is replacing her? I'll remind you, we talked about yesterday. Markwayne Mullin, who I saw John Kennedy out being interviewed, and he said, Mr. President Trump asked me over the phone what I thought of Markwayne Mullin, and I said, he's just so smart. It's kind of like when people, I don't want to insult her because now she's, often you'd have people go, Marjorie Taylor Greene, just so smart, like Trump would compliment. And you're like, why are you using the word smart for a person who's not famously smart? And Markwayne Mullin is very not famously smart. That sounds like a sentence.
Give me a joke.
Give me some of his, Cole.
Sucking at being number one, at being terrible governor.
Yeah.
Well, stand your butt up then.
That's when he was picking a fight with the Teamsters president. And this was Benny Johnson's celebration video from a while ago that he recirculated because of this news of Markwayne Mullin spiking a football.
Got it. Here we go. Ready?
Yes! You did it! You actually did. You were the vote. You were the vote.
Mike technically voted after me. So.
But you were the one that did 50.
I was the 50th, yes.
So there's that. Yeah, you did it! You did it, Markwayne. Someone said, I'll take, what's it? I don't even know the betting lingo. The over. What's the one whenever you think, I'll take $100 on they made love after this. And then there was a piece out from Mediaite, the 7 craziest moments from Markwayne Mullin, Trump's pick to lead Homeland Security. Let's skip to the number one, so I'm not bearing the lead here. Mullin reportedly fingered the nostrils of sleeping congressional colleagues and their spouses while on a trip to Israel. What? Wednesday night, after a full day of coverage, Markwayne Mullin near fisticuffs with a Teamsters leader and his subsequent unapologetic victory lap of media appearances, we got an email from someone who served, and I guess he was fingering their nostrils. Do we need to read this whole story? I don't think so. Was this if you fall asleep first at the slumber party, we're writing something inappropriate, we're drawing a penis on your forehead in Sharpie. But I don't love that they chose that term. Just say he poked his finger in their nose. I'm sure he went like this. Oh, ha ha. But the way they said it makes it look like he was like, oh. A little this, okay. So there's that. There were other stories here too. Mullin nearly had a fist fight with Teamsters president Sean. We know that. Mullin stated,
up, then.
and Markwayne goes like this. He's like, "All right, so let's go then. Let's go. Come on. I'm gonna go over there and fight you. Yeah, I'm gonna go and fight." He takes his ring off. I'm gonna fight you, but he doesn't actually walk anywhere towards Sean O'Brien. Love it. Mullin stated that he doesn't wear a seatbelt while driving in Washington, D.C. because he's afraid of being carjacked. Weird. Get out of your car. I can't. I have the seatbelt on. It's a broken old car. I'm stuck here, so you can't. You steal the car, you steal me, brother. And you stand your butt up, because Mullin claimed after the January 6th riot that only Democratic political rallies became violent. Wow. Compared Charlie Kirk to Martin Luther King Jr., who Kirk really didn't like. That was always a weird one. You're like, hey, I understand how horrible that event was. The fact that he was assassinated, terrible. Grieve, got it. What's this whole he's the MLK Jr. of our day stuff? When he's literally on the record being like, gosh, MLK's annoying. Mullin said when he called Trump's war on Iran a war, that was a misspoke. Now, it sounds like that might have been weeks later. That was 5 seconds after he said it. So we've looked at that clip as well. Meanwhile, you have... So what is Trump doing here? We're going into the midterms, and he sees that Kristi Noem's extremely unpopular. Is that really because it's just Kristi Noem? No. She made it worse with her antics and with the affair and with the lies about the murdering of American citizens and with her performances and campaign ads that were more about her self-aggrandizement than anything that's in the interest of the government or the American people. Okay, so she made it worse. But in general, it feels like DHS is just going to become unpopular because their goals are unpopular, regardless of who's leading it. I will say, as a side note, I can't wait for Mark Mullen's confirmation hearings where they get to grill him. And he's going to misspoke a lot. He done misspoke quite a bit. And he's going to suck at being first, at being number one, at being worse DHS.
Sucking at being number one, at being terrible governor.
So oh, we're gonna have so many fun Mark Wayne Mullen sound bites. It's gonna be Cole's job just got so much more fun. So this is a little bit of a midterm adjustment, right? Maybe you put someone else there, people go, oh, new face, new DHS. But I don't think that's gonna work, number one. And number two, they have a lot more issues than just that, including the economy and the jobs market. Look at this.
We are just seconds away from the February employment report and retail sales from January. In this case, here's Rick. He's standing by. What's up, Rick?
Yes, here we go. This is the big Feb jobs report. Non-farm payrolls, minus 92,000. Minus 92,000. That is a biggie. Minus 92,000.
So we lost jobs in February. We lost jobs again, which didn't happen a single time in a single month for the entire time Joe Biden was president.
Last month's 130K downgraded to 126,000. Minus 92,000. Well, what would that comp to? Minus 185 in December of 2020. There's where our comp is. Now, that means we have a revision over 2 months now of minus 69,000. Average hourly earnings, always important, up 0.4, a little bit better than expected. Up 0.4 would equal where we were in the rearview mirror. To find a higher number, you're going all the way back to March of 25 when it was 0.5.
So look at this. Look at this chart here. Okay, this is an all new numbers. So new, hot off the press, and you have a little bit of a trend here. You can see blue is up. Blue is good for job growth. Red is bad, which is interesting. They chose those colors because that has a little bit of a political alignment too. And you now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months since Trump has been president for a year. A little over a year. And 6 of the months of his tenure, we've seen job losses. So that's notable for sure. And then speaking of the midterms, you do have this Republican congressman from Texas, Tony Gonzalez, who got enough votes despite us already knowing the story of him having an affair with his staffer, and then later on that staffer ended up committing suicide. Now, it's worded that way because that has increased scrutiny around the scandal, and he was sort of pressuring her for sexual photos. It's not to allege that we know the suicide had anything to do with the affair, to be clear. But for a long time, Tony Gonzalez wasn't admitting this, and they're lying about me. But then he had to come out and admit, okay, yes, I was having this affair with my employee. And he didn't use this term, but we can see in the text using pressuring language to get sexual photos from her. Oh, by the way, we already knew about this. He just admitted it after the election, but he's going to a runoff. Like, he got enough votes to go to a runoff with his primary opponent. He didn't get defeated outright.
You know, very, very direct, Pags. I made a mistake, and I had a lapse in judgment, and there was a lack of faith. And I take full responsibility for those actions. Since then, I've reconciled with my wife, Angel. I've asked God to forgive me, which he has, and my faith.
How do you know? Why are you speaking? This is a very dark and grim subject, but can we just sit for a second on that? How do you know God forgave you? That's actually a little bit, if it weren't in such a dark setting, it would be kind of epic to just go, I talked with God, I murdered 30 people, but I asked him, I said, you cool with that? And he said, yes. And I said, how do you know he forgave you?
To forgive me, which he has. And my faith.
God also told me that I really did nothing wrong, and that voters in Texas should elect me, and that really I should be president. So, God has spoken.
Faith is as strong as ever. When you make mistakes like this, it's never easy. It humbles you, but it's important to kind of work through it all. I look forward to the ethics committee starting an investigation. I appreciate the opportunity to be able to provide all the facts and all the details that lead to exactly what occurred in the entire situation.
Yeah, he keeps saying that. I'm really glad that the ethics committee is investigating me. I really look forward to it. Stop, you're overcompensating, number one. I went and watched this full interview just out of sort of curiosity, and he kept saying, listen, I'm going to win. We got enough votes for the runoff. I'm going to win this thing. These headlines aren't going to stop me. And then literally 2 days later, you have this.
Well, we got some breaking news just in. Republican Congressman Tony Gonzalez of Texas has announced he is dropping his re-election bid. This comes after he admitted having an affair with an aide who later killed herself. He did say he's going to serve out the rest of his term. And I want to read just for a second what he has posted as well, saying, at 18, I swore an oath to defend our nation against all enemies, foreign and domestic. During my 20 years in the military and 3 terms in Congress, he talks about fighting for those very moments. But after deep reflection and with the support of my loving family, I've decided not to seek re-election while serving out the rest of this Congress with the same commitment I've always had.
This is, I understand it's kind of, like anyone is going to say they're not dropping their re-election bid, or they're not dropping out of a race, or they're not resigning until the second that they do. I get that. Or sort of the Biden, like, I'm staying in the race. Never mind. No one could get me out of this race. And you're like, hey, let's go. When you get knocked down, you get back up. Yeah. And then he's like, all right, I'm staying down. But here, he was so, you didn't see it in that clip, but in the full interview that I watched with this Joe Pags guy, he kept saying, I'm in this thing. My constituents want me. God told me he wants me to continue running this campaign. And then like 48 hours later, he's like, nah, I'm kidding. Never mind. All that tough talk. Never mind. So that's pretty grim.